In a matter of hours, the sky can turn black, the ocean can rise, and entire cities can disappear. Throughout history, storms have shaped the fate of civilizations, not just by wind and rain, but by the lives they erased and the warnings humanity failed to hear. Today, we look at the top 5 most catastrophic storms in history. In August of 2005, a massive hurricane began forming over the warm waters of the Atlantic. At first, it seemed manageable. Another storm, another warning. But Hurricane Katrina would become one of the most devastating disasters in American history. When Katrina made landfall along the Gulf Coast, it wasn't just the wind that destroyed New Orleans, it was what failed afterward. Levees meant to protect the city collapsed and water poured in. Within hours, nearly 80% of New Orleans was underwater. Over 1,800 lives were lost, and damages exceeded $125 billion. In November of 2013, one of the strongest storms ever recorded formed in the Pacific Ocean. Typhoon Haiyan, known locally as Yolanda, intensified with terrifying speed. Winds exceeded 195 miles per hour. But Haiyan's deadliest force was the ocean itself. A massive storm surge crashed inland, swallowing entire cities in minutes. Buildings collapsed, ships were thrown onto streets, families were torn apart. More than 6,000 people never made it out alive. In September of 2017, Hurricane Maria tore through the Caribbean. When it struck Puerto Rico, it didn't just damage the island, it shut it down. Power grids collapsed, communication failed, roads vanished. Overnight, the island went dark. The real death toll wasn't immediate. Nearly 3,000 lives were ultimately lost, many in the silent months that followed. In the year 1900, weather forecasting barely existed. No satellites, no radar, no warnings. Galveston, Texas was a thriving coastal city. Then, the hurricane arrived. A massive storm surge swept across the island in the dead of the night. Entire families drowned as homes were ripped apart. 8 to 12,000 people were killed, the deadliest natural disaster in U.S. history. In November of 1970, a cyclone formed over the Bay of Bengal. The land it approached was low-lying, densely populated, and dangerously exposed. When the Bhola Cyclone struck, storm surges erased entire villages. There were few warnings, little communication, and nowhere to escape. Between 300,000 and 500,000 people were killed. It remains the deadliest storm in recorded human history. One storm that changed the fate of a nation. These storms are not legends. They happened, and they will happen again. As the planet warms and oceans rise, storms like these may become more common, because when nature strikes, it is always humanity that pays the price.